Now does my project gather to a head. My charms crack not, my spirits obey, and time goes upright with his carriage. How's the day?
On the 6th hour, my lord, at which time you said our work should cease.
I did say so when first I raised the Tempest. Say, my spirit, how fares the king and his followers?
Confined together just as you left them. All prisoners, sir, in the lime grove which weather fends your cell. They cannot budge till your release. Your charm so strongly works them that should you behold them now, your affections would become tender.
And mine shall. Hast thou, which art but air, a touch, a feeling of their afflictions? And shall not myself, one of their kind, that relish all as sharply passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? With their high wrongs I am struck to the quick, yet with my nobler reason 'gainst my fury do I take part. The rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance. They, being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown farther. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves.
I'll fetch them, sir.
Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back. You demi-puppets, that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the ewe not bites. And you whose pastime is to make the midnight mushroom, that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault I have set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oped and led 'em forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses that this airy charm is for, break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound I'll drown my book. The solemn air and the best comforter to an unsettled fancy cure thy brains, now useless, boiled within thy skull. There stand, for you are spell-stopped. Holy Gonzala, honorable woman, mine eyes, even sociable to the show of thine, fall fellowly drops. The charm dissolves apace, and as the morning steals upon the night, melting the darkness, so their rising senses begin to chase the ignorant fumes that mantle their clearer reason. O good Gonzala, my true preserver, and a loyal one to him you followest, I will pay thy graces home both in word and in deed. Most cruelly didst thou, Alonso, use me and my daughter. Thy brother was a furtherer in the act. Thou art pinched for it now, Sebastian. Flesh and blood, you, sister mine, that entertained ambition, expelled remorse and nature, who with Sebastian, whose inward pinches therefore are most strong, would here have killed your king. I do forgive thee, unnatural as thou art. Their understanding begins to swell, and the approaching tide will shortly fill the reasonable shore that now lies foul and muddy. Not one of them that yet looks on me or would know me. Ariel, fetch me the vest in my cell. I will discase me and myself present as I was sometimes Milan. Quickly, spirit, thou shalt ere long be free.
Where the bee sucks, there suck I. In the cowslip's bell I lie. On the bat's back do I fly. After summer merrily, Merrily, merrily shall I live now on the blossom that lives on the bough.
Why, that's my dainty Ariel. I shall miss thee, though thou shalt have thy freedom. So. To the king's ship, invisible as thou art, there shalt thou find the mariners asleep under the hatches. The master and the boatswain being awake, enforce them to this place, and presently I prithee.
Men trouble, wonder, and astonishment inhabit here. Oh, some heavenly power, guide us out of this fearful country.
Behold, Sir King, the wronged Duke of Milan, Prospero. For more assurance that a living prince does now speak to thee, I embrace thy body, and to thee in thy company bid a hearty welcome.
Whether thou best, he or no, or some enchanted trifle, to abuse me, as I have been, I now know. Thy pulse beats as of flesh and blood, and since I saw thee, the affliction of my mind amends, with which I fear a madness held me. This must crave, and if this be at all a most strange story, the dukedom I resign, and do entreat thou pardon me my wrongs. But how should Prospero be living and be here?
First, noble friend, let me embrace thine age, whose honor cannot be measured or confined.
Whether this be or be not, I'll not swear.
You do yet taste some subtleties of the isle that will not let you believe things certain. Welcome, my friends all. But you, my brace of lords, were I so minded, I could here pluck his highness's frown on you and justify you traitors. At this time I will tell no tales.
The devil speaks in him.
No. For you, most wicked lady, whom to call sister would even infect my mouth, I do forgive thy rankest fault, all of them, and require my dukedom of thee, which perforce I know thou must restore.
If thou beest Prospero, give us the particulars of thy preservation, how thou hast met us here, who, 3 hours since, were wrecked upon this shore, where I have lost, how sharp this point of remembrance is, my dear son Ferdinand.
I am woe for it, sir.
Irreparable is the loss, and patience says it is past her cure.
I rather think you have not sought her help, of whose soft grace for the like loss I have her sovereign aid, and rest myself content.
You the like loss?
As great to me as late, and supportable to make the dear loss, have I means much weaker than you may call to comfort you. For I have lost my daughter.
A daughter? Oh heavens, that they were both living in Naples, the king and queen there, that they were... I wish myself were mudded in that oozy bed, where my son lies. When did you lose your daughter?
In this last tempest. I perceive these lords at this encounter do so much admire that they devour their reason, and scarce think their eyes do offices of truth, their words are natural breath. But, howsoe'er you have been justled from your senses, know for certain that I am Prospero, and that very Duke which was thrust forth of Milan, who most strangely upon this shore where you were wrecked was landed to be the lord on't. A welcome, sir. This cell's my court. Here have I few attendants and subjects none abroad. Pray you, look in. My dukedom, since you have given me again, I will requite you with as good a thing, at least bring forth a wonder, to content ye as much as me my dukedom.
Sweet lord, you play me false.
No, my dearest love, I would not for the world.
Yes, fourscore of kingdoms you should wrangle, and I would call it fair play.
If this prove a vision of the island, one dear son I shall lose twice.
A most high miracle.
Though the seas threaten, they are merciful. I have cursed them without cause.
Now all the blessings of a glad father compass thee about. Arise, and say how thou camest here.
Oh, wonder, how many goodly creatures are there here, how beauteous mankind is. Oh, brave new world that has such people in it.
'Tis new to thee.
What is this maid with whom thou wast at play? Your eldest acquaintance cannot be 3 hours. Is she the goddess that had served us? and brought us thus together?
Sir, she is mortal, but by immortal providence, she's mine. I chose her when I could not ask my father for his advice, nor thought I had one. She is daughter to this famous Duke of Milan, of whom so often I have heard renown, but never saw before, of whom I have received the second life, and second father this lady makes him to me.
I am hers. But, oh, how oddly, it will sound that I must ask my child forgiveness.
There, sir, stop. Let us not burden our remembrance with a heaviness that's gone.
I have inwardly wept, or should have spoken ere this. Look down, you God, and on this couple drop a blessed crown.
I say amen, Gonzala.
Was Milan thrust from Milan, that his issue should become kings of Naples? Oh, rejoice beyond a common joy.
Give me your hands. Let grief and sorrow still embrace the heart that doth not wish you joy.
Be it so. Amen. Oh, look, sir, look. Here is more of us. Oh, I prophesied if a gallows were on land, this fellow would not drown. Now blasphemy that swears grace o'erboard, not an oath on shore. Hast thou no mouth by land? What is the news?
The best news is that we have safely found our king and company. The next, our ship, which but 3 glasses since we gave out split, is tight and yar and bravely rigged as when we first put out to sea. Sir, all this service I have done since I went.
My tricksy spirit.
These are not natural events. They strengthen from strange to stranger. Say, how came thou hither?
If it did think, sir, I were well awake, I'd strive to tell you. We were dead of sleep, and, how we know not, all clapped under hatches. We were awakened straightway at liberty, where we, in all her trim, freshly beheld our royal good and gallant ship, our master capering to her eye. On a trice, so please you, even in a dream were we divided from them and were brought moping hither. Was't well done?
Bravely, my diligence, thou shalt be free.
This is as strange a maze as e'er men trod, and there in this business more than nature was ever conduct of. Some oracle must rectify our knowledge.
Sir, my liege, do not infest your mind with beating on the strangeness of this business. Come hither, spirit. Set Caliban and his companions free. Untie the spell. How fares my gracious sir? There are yet missing of your company some few odd lads that you remember not.
Every man shift for all the rest, and let no man take care for himself. All is but fortune. Coraggio, bully monster. Coraggio.
If these be true spies which I wear in my head, here's a goodly sight.
Oh, Setebos, these be brave spirits indeed. How fine my master is. I'm afraid he'll chastise me.
What things are these, my lady Antonia? Will money buy 'em?
Very like. One of them is a plain fish, and is no doubt marketable.
Mark but the badges of these men, my lords, then say if they be true. This misshapen knave, his mother was a witch, and one so strong that could control the moon, make flows and ebbs, and deal in her command without her power. These 3 have robbed me, and this demi-devil, for he's a bastard one, had plotted with them to take my life. But 2 of these fellows you must know and own. This thing of darkness, I acknowledge mine.
I shall be pinched to death.
Is this not Stefano, my drunken butler?
He is drunk now. Where had he wine?
And Trincolo is reeling ripe. Where should they find this grand liquor that hath gilded them? How camest thou in this pickle?
I have been in such a pickle since I saw you last that I fear me will never be out of my bones. I shall not fear fly blowing.
Why, how now, Stefano?
Oh, touch me not, for I am not Stefano, but a cramp.
You'd be the king of the island, Sirrah?
I should have been a sore one then.
This is a strange thing as I e'er looked on.
He's as disproportioned in his manners as in his shape. Go, Sirrah, to my cell. Take with you your companions. As you look to have my pardon, trim it handsomely.
Aye, that I will. And he'll be wise hereafter, and seek for grace. What a thrice double ass was I, to take this drunkard for a god, worship this dull fool.
Go to, away.
It. Hence, and bestow your luggage where you found it.
Or stole it, rather.
Sir, I invite your highness and your train to my poor cell, where you shall take your rest for this one night. Which part of it I'll waste with such discourse as, I not doubt, shall make it go quick away. The story of my life and the particular accidents gone by since I came to this isle. And in the morn I'll bring you to your ship, and so to Naples, where I have hoped to see the nuptial of these our dearly beloved solemnized. And thence retire me to my Milan, where every third thought shall be my grave.
I long to hear the story of your life, which must take the ear strangely.
I'll deliver all, and promise you calm seas, auspicious gales, and sails so expeditious that shall catch your royal fleet far off. My Ariel, chick, that is thy charge. Then to the elements be free, and fare thou well. Please you, draw near. Now my charms are all o'erthrown, and what strength I have's mine own, which is most faint. Now 'tis true, I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples. Let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver, dwell in this bare island by your spell. But release me from my bands, with the help of your good hands. A gentle breath of yours my sails must fill, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I lack spirits to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you from your crimes would pardoned be, let your indulgence set me free.